Welcome to the Bitcoin Sage Show. I'm your host, Patrick. Let's get started with the news in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So the first one here is Bitcoin started with all men, now crypto opening up to women. On crypto Twitter, there's tons of awesome females coming into the industry right now. And I think this is a good article. Take a look at it. I'll also try to add some of the great women that I follow on crypto Twitter as well that you can keep track of. Next is this article by Fortune. Fortune seems to be coming out with, 5-10 articles a day about Bitcoin. It's unbelievable. I can't even keep up with them. This one's about Bitcoin regrets. I'm seeing these all the time, and I think this is something people need to try their best not to focus on. How much they would have invested, or how much a pizza cost, or how much a couch cost someone 3 years ago. There are lots of cool stories that are coming out, and I think there's even more of the hidden multimillionaires that are trying very desperately now not to be known for Bitcoin. Next is South Korea is going crazy for Bitcoin. I'm hoping to have a friend of mine on the show soon, Ken, who's in Asia all the time and has been telling me more about South Korea as well, and how the market there is just going crazy as well for Bitcoin. So I think that's where you're seeing a lot of volume and a lot of price variation. There's a 10 to 20% premium being paid for Bitcoin pricing in South Korea. So they're definitely adding to the FOMO. Next is Bitcoin rivals Ethereum and Litecoin soar to record levels. I think you've been seeing this. I'm going to try to cover that on some of the charts in the next little bit here. But Litecoin and Ethereum and Ripple all saw huge moves over the last few days. It looks like in many ways the altcoins saw a bottom 2 days ago and have been picking up ever since, even with Bitcoin reaching some new all-time highs again. Again, a lot of Bitcoin has gone mainstream and it's a very big deal and everyone's talking about it. And I still don't know that many people who actually have Bitcoin or know how to get Bitcoin or even care about it. It still feels like, the internet 1994 to 1996 days where people were kind of wondering, like, why would I even need a domain? And why would I want to have something like this online brochure of a website? That makes no sense to me. And I still think that's where we are with Bitcoin at this point. Next is Grayscale Investments, the big investment firm that's been holding some of the largest amount of Bitcoin out there. They sold all of their Bitcoin Cash tokens. So they liquidated 172,000 Bitcoins. I think that turned out to be quite a bit of a windfall, and also kind of tells you where their mindset is on Bcash in general. So they obviously aren't looking for the long run on Bcash, but we'll see. It's picked up today. So again, always start your day with going to CoinMarketCap.com. Take a look at what is being done in the industry. The top 10 is always kind of the best place to start and look at, see what's changed in the last 24 hours, take a look at volume. Just by looking at things, you get a better picture of what's happening. I look at Ripple here at number 4. It's up 68% in the last 24 hours. And that's, again, because Ripple was being, I think, overly dumped over the last few days. And that had reached the bottom about 2 days ago, and anybody who bought some at that point, and I do know a couple people online who picked that bottom really well. And those are the points you want to look for when you're investing in cryptocurrency, is look for those bottom points where people are just selling out a massive amount and the price is dropping. That's probably the best way I've seen to make the most amount of money in cryptocurrency, is to watch for those bottoms, look for the fear, look for when things are really bottoming out, and then take advantage of those moments. So next on CoinMarketCap, under the charts, there's the dominancy and capitalization. So today's breakdown is here. Always look at that, see who's changing and what's happening in those differences. I'm going to use this as a guide for our charting. The CBOE futures, not too big of a change, but still slightly positive in general. And let's get started with some charts here. So let's get started with the Bitcoin. and some price action here. So we're on the 4-hour chart. As discussed yesterday, we are waiting for a break above 17,360, 400, so 17,400. That break happened and it rushed up to about 17,800 and then was nicely rejected. I think a lot of people got excited thinking we had a pullback coming, and we did. It went down to 16,737 and has been moving forward ever since. Very positive in that direction. Let's go to the hourly. So we're above the 50-day moving average, which is positive. And we broke through the resistance that we were looking for here at 17,400. You know, it's being rejected a little bit. There is a bit of a movement up and down. I think people are trying to short at this level and seeing if we can make this a double top. We did stop at around that 18,200 level, but everything seems overly positive at this point, and it seems like we're dragging ourselves upward. Watch this 50-day moving average, and let's watch what happens here at this 17,400 and how long we spend here, and whether this turns into resistance or support. And at this point, it's not 100%. Let's jump to Ethereum, and this was a fantastic pick. Now, a bunch of folks have been watching Ethereum for quite a long time. I myself have been watching this and picked some up recently just before this. And if you can look at the chart here and just see a little bit of the setup, you can kind of see where the right point was. From my perspective, I always look at it breaking a trend line and then breaking out to a new high. So I was buying at this point here. So there's another opportunity, I think, coming up around here to see if Ethereum's going to get past that. I'll go into some more detail on these charts a little bit later. Just was able to add a few of them so we can kind of go through these. I'm going to jump into Bcash now. Bcash seems to be breaking through here. So let's watch this carefully. I would actually add another level and look at this here. So once we break this level, I will be interested in Bcash. IOTA falling apart, but setting up some baselines here as well. At this point, I'm watching this one carefully just because it's in the news all the time. Litecoin did a fantastic job. I have some resistance levels here that I was watching, and I was a buyer at this point. It's amazing to see where this one's going, and I think this one absolutely has to do with the fact that it's on Coinbase and it's the cheaper option, and people are just piling in at this point between that and Ethereum. So I'm hoping this one will go all the way up to that trend line of 0.021 BTCs. Next is Neo. That was another one that I'm watching very carefully. I really like this one. I was a buyer at 0.0025. I'm watching to see how far this bounce goes as well. The last one on my list here is today was Ripple as well. This one I was a buyer over here. There are some great points over the last 2-3 days. You could have gotten into Ripple. There was some major resistance. It blew through here, and it's making its rip back up to the 3,000 level. So we'll see if it can sustain this. Again, it all depends, I think, to a certain degree on Bitcoin price action. If Bitcoin continues to rip higher and higher to 18 or 20,000, which is where it's headed right now, it may zap this bounce and turn it into a bit of a dead count bounce for all of our friends here in the altcoins. But at this point, watch these levels. They're working out really, really well, and the upside on some of these, like Litecoin, has been just tremendous. And Ripple is another one of those ones where, you know, most folks I know have almost doubled their money in the last day or two on Ripple. So some great options there, everybody. Keep track of things. We're going to do some more charting. I'll be able to do I'll answer any of your other questions or comments on the videos as well. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you join us on YouTube. Just do a search for Bitcoin Sage. Take a look at the website, bitcoinsage.com. Next, we'll be covering a lot of basic security stuff that I think is really not talked about a lot. I mean, the trading stuff is very important, and so is the making money aspect, but I think you have to protect that money even more so. So we're going to go over a lot of security stuff, and I'm going to break out some separate videos and podcasts just on security and interviews as well. So let's keep an eye out on that. Everybody have a fantastic day, and let's trade some coins here and make some money.